Hey, how's it going, guys? So today I'm doing some little projects. So I've only got a few hours. I'm just kind of doing some tidying up. I bought a few parts over here. So, all right, let me start by saying what I'm doing. So this is the 390. That's going to go in the 67 Galaxy. The original 4300 Autolite carburetor was seized up, and I found this cheap Holley on Facebook Marketplace. So I picked this one up, this and a Holley 750 CFM, which I'm gonna sell, but the price was right, so I went ahead and picked them up. The goal, before I found out it was gonna rain, is to get a new turn signal switch in the Elite, as well as a new, or possibly a new ground strap. I'm having turn signal issues, so I bought a new ground strap just in case I need it. I haven't even tried cleaning up the original one. And when I say a ground strap, I'm talking about the negative, or the it's just a cord that grounds the engine block to the, or connects it to the firewall, which is, you know, connected back to the battery to ground, so completes the circuits. So my turn signals currently only work sometimes, so that's why I'm working on that. And then I was gonna try and get the coolant, or the radiator issue, fixed on my truck. Yeah, it's already starting to sprinkle, but this is the radiator that came with the truck. It's got a leak right about in here. You can see the oxidized copper. That's where it's leaking at when it gets warm. So this thing only holds coolant up to about here, and then when it gets nice and warm and pressurized, steam shoots out of here. It doesn't overheat, but that's something I want to kind of remedy while I can before I get stuck on the side of the road or something. So my goal with, or my plan with that, was to put this radiator in here, see if this radiator that I have will fit it. So this is the radiator that came out of the 66 Galaxy, and the one that was hooked up to this motor. Even though I'm not going to use this radiator for the Galaxy, I'm planning on getting a new aluminum one. But just for my work truck, I thought I'd see if this thing would fit it. And I found that this one has a crack in the top tank, and you can tell by the oxidation. But if you look closely, there's actually a crack right on this seam, it looks like to me. So it probably is a less severe leak than the one I have, but that also looks more repairable than the one I have, because the truck has got a leak somewhere in this area, and I don't really know how to repair that. So if I have to, I'll buy an aluminum one for my truck, but if I can save a few dollars, I'd rather do that. Let's see, is that all I planned on doing? Oh, and I got a few just tune-up things. So this is a new, brand spanking new, old stock turn signal switch. I'll show you what it looks like. Let me see if I can get this open with one hand. So I bought a bunch of new old stock parts from this old mechanic, and this was part of it. So this is a brand new turn signal switch that I could throw into the old Elite and see if that rectifies my issue. I had the original one in there, I assumed was bad. I went on eBay and bought a used one, and still had the issue. So I don't know if the used turn signal switch I put in it is the issue or not. But if I have a new one I can slap in there, it doesn't cost me anything, then I'd love to do that and just not have to worry about that being the source of the issue. And then I'm gonna kind of tidy up this motor a little bit. I've got this water neck and thermostat I was gonna do, but then I had to buy a gasket, so I bought that gasket. That's gonna go on today. The other exhaust manifold It's the other thing I was waiting on a gasket for, because I monked up one of the gaskets when I was putting that one on, and then so only had one good one, and then whatever, so I had to buy another set of them to put the, and I bought a brand new manifold for this side, because this side, the manifold that was on it was warped. Yeah, so I think that about covers it. I hate how dusty this thing's getting. But this carburetor I bought, I need to rebuild it. I just set it up here just to see how it would look for a minute. But I think it's gonna look good. That's just my opinion. But all of this is brand new painted, and look how dusty it's getting. So whatever, I might wipe it down. All right, take it easy. All right, so we're gonna start with the easiest part to replace. Oh yeah, much better. All right, so we got the thermostat on here. What you do is gasket, thermostat, then the housing. I put a little bit of gasket sealer. I just spread it real thin with my finger around all the seals. But also, it looks like to me, you need to put gasket sealer on your bolts, on the threads, before you tighten them in, because that goes right into your cooling system, and you know, you don't want coolant leaking from your bolts. You want to put a little bit of gasket sealer in there to keep that from happening. So yeah, happy with that. That was pretty easy. So it looks like maybe it's not going to rain, or the rain's already passed and the drizzling was all we're going to get, but I might be headed outside here soon. All right, talk to you a little bit. Okay guys, so I got my new exhaust manifold on here. I had already drilled some of these out. Some of the ones up here, luckily, and I don't know why this is, none of the bottoms, the ones down here, stripped out, or you know, the bolts down there didn't snap when I was trying to take the original manifold off. So I got really lucky. It was on like that on this side and the other side. So, but these did give me some trouble. So what I did is, so this one is the only one on this side that the thread stayed in this portion of it. But over here I just had to wallow it out and, you know, just put a nut on the other side and you're good to go. So yeah, so now I got manifolds. So I decided to try something. I decided to double gasket this, and I'll tell you why. I'm not sure if this is a terrible thing to do or not, but over here, some of the metal had apparently eroded away from the head a little bit over the years and left a gap there when I had just one gasket. So when I put two and really torque down, you know, over here, it's better. I don't know if it's going to be perfect. See, I can move that. That's probably not ideal, but all I can do is hope for the best and put a loud exhaust on it, so if it does leak a little bit, it won't be too noticeable. But that's a new manifold, so it's got to be a head issue, is why that's not flat. And I'm not trying to get a head resurfaced or anything. I'm not that fancy. So my goal next is to go out and do the thermostat on the pickup truck before all my gasket sealer dries up. It got all clogged up and I just got frustrated, opened the side of it. So when that dries up, I'm gonna have to chunk it. But so yeah, I'll keep you up to date on what I'm gonna do outside. It's probably hot as hell out there though, and with the little bit of rain we got, it's probably humid, even more so than it was already. But alrighty, talk to you later. Alright, so we're out here. There's fan noise. Pardon that, but it's freaking hot out here without it. So, trying to find the ground strap on this thing, and I believe that's it. So hopefully I can clean that off, sand it, put it back on there, and then we're good to go. As you can see, it goes down and probably, I mean, I'm sure it attaches to the block somewhere. So, alrighty, I'm gonna get to that. Alright, so as you can see, I got the ground strap cleaned up pretty good, and then I got a little bare spot of metal exposed right there. I'm gonna put it back on there and see what happens. Alright, so I'm testing out my turn signals, but I don't see anything happening with right turn signal. Let's try the left. See if the dash says anything. No. No, nothing. So that didn't do it. My next step is I'm going to put that brand new turn signal switch in it and see what happens. Alright, so the first thing I got to do is take this horn pad off. And there's just a couple screws on either side on the back. So I'm going to do that right quick. Okay, so I got the horn pad off, and this is what we're looking at. I got to take that nut off and then use my steering wheel puller if it actually needs it, because I did have this off not too long ago and I can't remember if I really torqued down on it or not, but I'm gonna do that. So yeah, it's on there pretty good, but luckily I've got a cheap little made in China steering wheel puller kit. Works really good, got it on Amazon. So I'm gonna pull this off and show you what we got underneath here. Alright, so we got her off of there. Nice and easy like. And then we got access to our turn signal switch. So I'm gonna slap the new one in there and then move along. Alright, so I had to take a couple screws off down here to take this access plate off. To get access to the harness. So we just unplug this, undo these 4 screws, and then it slides out and the harness comes with it. And then we, you know, yank our new one in there. Alrighty. So I just found out the best way to take this thing off of here is to get you a flat blade screwdriver, because these can be pretty stuck on here. Let me see if I can do this. You see that little, the center of the little curve it's got in it? You jam a little screwdriver in there and then twist it. It kind of pushes it apart, at least to get it started, and then once it's started you should be able to just yank it out of there. There we go. And then we're gonna take this thing out without dropping our screws everywhere. Alright, we got her out. Not gonna throw this away yet, but I am gonna go grab the new one and stick it in there. But this is what it looks like in here. Alright. Okay, so I got my new one here, and we're gonna snag it in there. And then we should be good to go. I sure hope this fixes the issue. I'm kind of running out of things to change, trying to get my turn signals to work. Alrighty, peace. Alright, so it's in there. We got it plugged in. So, I suppose I could just go ahead and plug it in the battery again and test the lights. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright, so I just tested the lights, and they're working the same as they were before. So the switch was never the issue, I'm guessing. But, you know, I'm still it's good to know that I have a good turn signal switch. I'm gonna leave that new one in there, and I could sell the other one as a decent used turn signal switch, since that's what I bought it as. But I'm really just running out of things to check with the wiring, and I'm sure whenever I figure out why I can't have headlights and turn signal at the same time, it's gonna seem obvious, but at the moment I cannot figure it out. But the turn signals work when you're not using headlights and only when the car's running. I guess that might be normal, I don't know. I thought you could turn signals with the ignition on, but maybe that's just hazards, and the hazards do work. So I guess that's it I'm gonna do for this today. I mean, I've eliminated one thing that it could be, so I guess that's progress, and I'll just have to do some more reading up. I actually bought a shop manual that has wiring diagrams for a wide range of vehicles from the 60s and 70s, so hopefully that'll help me understand a little bit better how these things are wired. So yeah, let me get everything in here put back together. Well, actually, before I forget, I want to put this air filter on here. So this air filter came with the truck. I can't see any light come, maybe it is. But I actually accidentally left this out in the rain and got it wet. So I thought I'd go ahead and replace it, even though it wasn't causing an immediate issue. Let me make sure it matches up to the new one. Yeah, it looks decent to me. I guess there's not a top or bottom to this. Put down this little old rubber gasket or whatever. Alright, so this is trash. I'm gonna put my steering wheel back on. Peace. Alright, so I got her all buttoned up here. I was just noticing this. There's a rat's nest of wires under there where somebody put in this radio. It's not factory, but it does work. It's like a Magnavox unit, AudioVox, there it is. And it does work. I like the radio, but yeah, there's some sketchiness happening down here, so maybe I should take a look at that. I was just looking at my breather because I was looking for that little filter sponge for the PCB system, because I think I have a new one that I got from at a state sale, the same one I got the new turn signal switch from. He said he thought it would fit, so I was looking at my breather, and then I realized that I don't even have one right now. So that's gonna make my air filter go out way too quick. So I'm gonna go see if the one I have fits it, and if it isn't, then I'm gonna just let my air filter do its job. So I thought I set aside some of the parts that I was planning on using. Oh yeah, this is a temperature sending unit I was going to put on the motor over there. Did I put it in the shed? It's going to be annoying if I did. Yeah, I probably did. Alright, I'm gonna go look for it. It was in the daggone points can. I have a couple sets of points in here. And I went out to the shed for nothing, but at least I found it. Alright, I'm gonna slap this. Hopefully this fits, and I'm gonna slap it on there. Alright, so we got this thing snagged in there. So hopefully that'll keep the air filter from getting clogged up too quickly. But alright, so next I'm gonna go over there and put that temperature sending unit on there, and then I'm probably gonna call it quits for the day. I decided not to do the thermostat on this yet because I don't think the radiator I'm gonna use is something that I want to use, and it doesn't overheat right now. So I'll just keep driving it, save up my pennies, buy a new radiator, and do the thermostat and all that all at the same time. I don't know what's going on down there. I don't know if that's the original. Something looks a little weird down there. Might need some hoses too. Well, I'm gonna just save up my pennies and do it all at one time, so rather than try to get by with a leaky radiator when that's what it's already got in it. So I'm gonna tidy up around here and then put that sender on there and then go home. Alright, so I got the little guy on there, and I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day, guys.